You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Coming up, the identity of a man drowned is revealed.
Plus, we are looking bright and nice to start the day out, but that is going to lead to another hot and humid afternoon. We'll start breaking down your forecast coming up.
Also, Filipino World War II veterans finally get recognized, but they're continuing to work towards more. All that and more coming up.
Starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Jalen Banks. We know the identity of the man who drowned at the Dripping Springs area of Grand Lake this weekend. Officials with Emporia State University in Kansas say the man, Braxton Green, was a student there. The university says Green, originally from Cashin, Oklahoma, was a sophomore and a wide receiver on the football team. Authorities say Green was cliff jumping into the water, but did not resurface. A Wyandotte, Oklahoma man dies after a crash yesterday morning while on his motorcycle in Newton County, Missouri. Authorities say 61-year-old Bruce Dodge was driving north on Missouri State Highway 43 of Seneca when he crashed into the back of a pickup. Dodge was unfortunately pronounced dead at the scene. The other driver was not hurt. The Caney, Kansas Police Department warns residents to be on alert after a string of vehicle break-ins. Officials say if your vehicle is parked outside, you should make sure it's locked and remove any valuables from it. They're also asking people with security cameras to review the footage from last night and contact them in the event that they see anything suspicious. A Southwest Missouri legislator resigns her seat after being convicted of fraudulently taking COVID-19 relief funds. On Friday, Republican State Representative Tricia Durgis of Nixa sent her resignation letter to House Speaker Rob Vescovo. Durgis was an assistant physician at several clinics. She was convicted last month on 22 counts, including wire fraud, illegal distribution of controlled substances, and making false statements to investigators. Federal prosecutors argued she claimed nearly $900,000 in federal funding for COVID-19 treatments that weren't performed or had already been performed. The state of Oklahoma plans to execute an inmate on death row nearly every month until 2025. The Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals set execution dates for 6 prisoners, with plans to execute 25 in the next 29 months. The court is responding to a request by Oklahoma Attorney General John O'Connor. Capital punishment in Oklahoma had been on hold due to a moratorium prompted by botched lethal injections. Oklahoma currently has a backlog of 44 people on death row. Under the new push, the first scheduled execution is set for August 25th. Another local Independence Day tradition, the Pittsburgh Parks and Rec Department's annual 4th of July Festival. The festival features events like a car show, a bocce tournament, and a fishing derby at Lincoln Park. On Monday, officials restocked the pond at Lincoln Park with catfish. Kids and adults were put in separate divisions to see who could catch the most.
So I hope the families can come out and enjoy themselves in this nice weather today and enjoy just celebrating the 4th of July together.
The winner of the adult division received some Pittsburgh Chamber bucks, and the winner of the kids division was able to get a fishing pole. The many activities at Pittsburgh's Lincoln Park also included a Cutest baby contest. Participants were in boy and girl categories in 6 to 12 months or 12 to 24 months. The contest is a long-standing tradition for the Pittsburgh Independence Day celebration.
Well, as a child, my mom took me to all of them, mainly with my grandpa. And so it was just kind of a little tradition that I was so excited to continue on once I had her. So we're just excited to do it and to spend the 4th of July with family and friends and at the day at the park.
And of course, the best part of the contest was that every single baby was cute. The unincorporated community of Chicopee, Kansas, just outside of Pittsburgh, celebrated 2 parts of its history. A schoolhouse that was established in 1869 and ran for 100 years, and the Chicopee Rural Water District, established in 1951 on Monday. On Monday, the community honored both parts of its history by dedicating a memorial in the old schoolyard.
It's just to remind us of our rich heritage. You know, we're really fortunate in Southeast Kansas. We have a really rich heritage here. You know, it's really colorful, rich heritage. and people can't be reminded of that too often.
The memorial is made of brick and cut stone and features a flagpole. An eerie auction for some gothic goods. An antique vampire slaying kit has been sold in the UK for almost $16,000. That's more than 6 times the asking price. The 19th century box has everything you'd need to ward off vampires, including crucifixes, holy water, a wooden stake, and more. The auction house says the kit once belonged to the Lord William Haley, a British aristocrat with a place in the House of the Lords.
A vampire slaying kit, and then went for what, $16,000?
$16,000.
I bet you can pick all those up separately and spend no less than $50 nowadays.
I'm curious if the holy water in there was like the original holy water for the kit, or was it just like the bottle?
That would be interesting. Maybe it would be worth more then, and maybe I would imagine the holy water could still be pretty potent if it goes back to that day for sure. But we're going to switch gears, if you don't mind, Jalen, because we got to talk about our weather setup, because for those of you that don't like the summer heat and humidity, you're not liking the way this upper level setup is looking. This upper level ridge is from firm control overall, once again, as we go throughout the day, but underneath the ridge, we did manage to see a quick little minor upper level disturbance riding along the Kansas-Oklahoma border just to the west. It kept any slight rain or thunderstorm chances mainly west of 35. Let's say between Wichita and maybe close to Waukeeta, Oklahoma. But in a couple of spots, some of that energy tried to spark a few showers around Yates Center and up around Burlington early this morning. But that's about the best our rain chances will be for the rest of the day, because our main focus here, we've got heat advisories clipping northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, taking us at least through the middle of the week, but all the excessive heat warnings for our corners of Kansas and Oklahoma, they're not going to fall by the wayside until we get into your Friday morning. So it is going to be quite a continuous stretch of hot and humid weather. So even though it looks nice from 7th and Range Line, that rising sun starting to push the numbers up again. 79 right now in Joplin, feeling like 82 with the dew point back near 70. Everyone's sitting in the middle of the upper 70s right now. But in some spots, it certainly feels like the lower 80s already. And again, we are not done seeing these numbers rise, not by a long shot. So on a normal day like this, we should be starting at 69 and topping out near 90. Easy to say that's not the case for today, unfortunately. We'll already be near 81 by 8 a.m., 95 by noon. Around Joplin, we are going to hit the century mark today, right at 100 degrees. Even if we still see maybe just a little bit of cloud cover and maybe an additional random shower or storm in our far western counties closest to the turnpike on the Kansas side. That quickly fades away, though. Everybody's looking dry for the day, mostly sunny skies, but again, that's what pushes us into the mid-90s to start the afternoon, and everyone topping out in the upper 90s, and certainly a good number of us could be flirting with 100-degree readings this afternoon. And again, you factor in the humidity, it'll feel like 100 already as we get the afternoon started today. And then those numbers will push between 102 and maybe as high as 108 degrees before the afternoon is all said and done. As far as the extended forecast goes, the alert days for the heat and humidity, they stretch through Friday, since we'll hit 101 Wednesday, 102 Thursday, and 103 on Friday. And by the time we hit those numbers, Jalen, it could certainly feel like a couple of spots around 110 during the peak heating of those afternoons. So we just got to put up with the heat for that much longer, and hopefully, and then coming from by the weekend, could give us a few storm chances and at least knock us back into the upper 90s for highs.
Yeah, to me that sounds like Lana Del Rey's Summertime Sadness, if you ask me.
That's a pretty good way to sum it up. I never made that connection, but yeah, if you do not like this heat, Summertime Sadness certainly would apply in this case.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Nick. Up next, scientists have a new test to diagnose most serious and potentially deadly cases of asthma. And later, Jasmine Kyle from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society steps back into the studio. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Watch this morning, an older technology may still be the best at visually detecting prostate cancer, and a potential breakthrough could give new people hope to millions of people who have asthma. Bradley Blackburn has a look at some of today's top health stories.
Around the world, more than 260 million people suffer from asthma, and their numbers keep growing. Researchers in Australia have discovered a new way to diagnose the most serious and potentially deadly cases. Analyzing urine samples, they identified biochemical changes that occur in the lungs. They hope their finding will lead to new treatments for severe asthma, which can't be controlled by existing medications. Frozen sperm is as effective as fresh samples when used as a fertility treatment. That's the finding of a long-term study conducted at Harvard and Massachusetts General Hospital. It found that freezing sperm had no impact on pregnancy rates, though it noted some women tended to get pregnant faster by using fresh samples. MRIs remain the gold standard for visualizing prostate cancer. A study presented in Amsterdam said older MRI technology appears to be more accurate than the new prostate-specific PET-CT imaging systems. In a test, both machines were used to screen patients for prostate abnormalities. They were equally effective at detecting clinically significant cancers, but biopsies showed the MRIs were better at detecting all other grades of the disease. That's a look at some of the day's top health stories. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
This kitty may not look very happy, but I can assure you it is safe after being rescued from inside a vending machine at a Tennessee Walmart last week. No details about how it got in there, but according to a Facebook post from the city of Morristown, a Walmart employee named Lindsay called the fire department for help. When the firefighters arrived, they could hear the kitten crying, but couldn't see it inside the Pepsi machine. They unplugged it and took it back out of the machine and turned the machine off, but they still couldn't find the little kitty. Fire crews finally spotted the gray kitten in a small opening, and they eventually coaxed it out. According to the post, Lindsay took the kitten home with her. Fire crews joked about naming it Pepsi.
That kitten wants to do anything for a soda.
Man, we should probably go check ours.
Yeah, because goodness knows we certainly attract some strange animals out here, but I'll tell you what, though, it wouldn't be surprising if they came right inside, because this is too hot for any creature or anybody, certainly with the way things are going throughout the course of the day. We've got heat advisories from northeast Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas through the middle of the week, but everybody else under excessive heat warnings until we get into Friday, early Friday morning at the latest. We got plenty of sunshine from 7th and Rangeline right now, but that's already starting to see the temperatures climb. And in fact, we will start the 8 o'clock hour around 81, 95 by noon. By the way, early this morning, maybe a random stray shower or storm close to the turnpike in our far Kansas counties out west. But most of us are dry today, and a lot of us will be flirting with the upper 90s to near 100 with heat indices, maybe pushing 108 in some spots. We'll take another look at the forecast later on. We'll be right back with Jasmine Kyle from the SEK Humane Society coming up. Well, it's not a Tuesday unless we get a special visit from the SEK Humane Society. Not only do we have Director Jasmine Kyle with us once again. Good morning. We've got, who's the special guest joining us this morning?
Yeah, so this is Betty. As you can see, she is a super sweet, lovable gal.
Can you look at the camera, Miss Betty?
You would not guess it, because she's a very active girl and a very sweet dog, but she is 8.5 years old. She is a black lab mix, as you can see, with a little bit of husky mixed into her. Yeah. She knows how to sit and shake on command. Yeah. She's been to several kids' educational tours. She even had, oh, there you go. She had her special Christmas pop-up adoption event at Root Coffee House here in Pittsburgh. And as you can see, she was going up to guests and giving them handshakes without asking and just kind of introducing herself to everybody. She is a dog that we have that you will always see smiling. She is such a pure, sweet soul.
And of course, given by the picture, she is not shy. I can definitely tell that.
She will go up to any human that she wants to be friends with, which is everybody, to say the least. She's just looking for a home with no animals is the thing. Miss Betty wants to be by herself for the most part when it comes to animals, but with people, she wants to be with constantly, whether that is on the couch, chilling out, watching you work at home, or whether you want to go on a hike. She loves car rides too. She hopped in my car right on this morning and lay down the back seat. She knew what was going on. So
yeah, it's like that's always just, I mean, personally, that always gives me joy. Just whenever I'm on the road, just seeing dogs sticking their heads out the windows and just enjoying the ride.
Exactly.
And you keep mentioning people's like young, old. She doesn't have a preference.
No, she does not have a preference. We've tested her with kids, everybody. With adults, with elderly. She does great. She's just looking for a home with no animals. And this weekend is really special at our shelter.
Oh, really? What's coming up?
Yeah, so this Saturday and Sunday, we're at full capacity, unfortunately, just like a lot of shelters are right now. We have almost 100 animals on property.
Goodness.
But thanks to some support from a wonderful organization called Petco Love, we are waiving all dog adoption fees this Saturday
Really?
and this Sunday, July 9th and 10th. That
Wow.
means that you pay nothing. And on top of it, we will give you a free collar and a free leash that goes with that dog too. Our dogs are spayed and neutered. They're microchipped. They are up to date on information. We are giving you all the tools needed. You do not have to worry about everything. And there's Miss Sugar Mama. She was on 2 weeks ago with you guys. Now, she's a German Shepherd. We do not get a lot of German Shepherds, especially at shelters. They are high-end dogs. Sugar Mama is great with kids. She's great with humans. She's great with other dogs. And she also can sit on command, and she can hop in a car and sit on command too. She's a very polite lady.
And it's funny too, we were talking about Sugar Mama during the break. I thought it was a brand new breed of dog that I've never heard of before. But
No,
yeah, as we all saw, she's an amazing German Shepherd. It's like I've seen a few good, not just a few good German Shepherds, all the ones I've seen, they're always amazing dogs.
I know.
But no, like it's just amazing though. Like it's not just mixed breeds. Like you get like I think you've had like all sorts of breeds come at the shelter.
Yeah, we actually have like Athena right there. She's a Great Dane mix. We don't ever get Great Danes at our shelter. It is an incredibly rare occurrence, especially in our area because they're very expensive dogs. And we, as of today, just have 2 more Great Danes.
Goodness.
They are big, big boys. They are sweet and kind and gentle, and you can see them on our website, the SEKHumaneSociety.com. They will be actually up for adoption this weekend too. They're very, very sweet boys. But we also have a dog by the name of Montana who has been with you guys.
Can you get? Oh,
Yes,
there we go.
Bear hand. I know, she wants kisses. But yeah, there is Montana. He is an extremely cool dog. He is an Australian cattle dog terrier mix. He has, as you can see, these giant ears. He is an amazingly cool dog. I personally fostered him at my house. He is an amazing, sweet dude. He is also 8 years of age, but is extremely active. I had him out on a trailway, and he was out. We were probably out there for 2 hours, just enjoying the scenes and the sights. He'll jump in a car. I had no accidents with him indoor at my house. He's a incredibly cool dog, and he only comes up to my knee. He's a very small guy. So if you've been looking for smaller dogs, which we don't usually have a lot of right now, he would be a great one to check out this weekend.
That's amazing. So yeah, you've got quite a bit of events coming up, a lot of dogs up for adoption, including Riddick. Amazing.
Riddick is a little, as you can see, he loves the camera. Whenever we get a camera out, that boy will sit and give you the biggest smile, and he knows. Riddick does great with female dogs, no cats, no male dogs, but he is also, as you can see, comes up to your knee, is a very cool guy. He's a pug beagle mix too.
Amazing.
Very cool.
Well, we've unfortunately we're just about short on time, but if anybody has any information about the events coming up or something, that big adoption special coming up, how can they get a hold of you guys?
Yeah, you can reach out to us on our Facebook page. We have our website, thesekhumanestudy.com. We, again, will be open this Saturday to the public from noon to 4, and then this Sunday from 1 to 4 too. And of course, you can give us a call at 232-1840.
Yeah, and I just can't help but notice like more dogs coming up. You've got so many wonderful pets up for adoption. Anybody looking for a forever home for these special guys, please give them a shout out. You may walk in not expecting to pick one up, but I'm sure you get a lot of people just coming in and ready to take one of their forever friends home.
We hope so. We hope so.
All right. Well, Jasmine, Kyle, thank you very much for stopping by with us. And you too, Miss Betty. Thanks for hamming up for the camera for us. And we'll be back after the break.
It's time to honor today's Force-Aid hero, Sergeant Emery Spicer. The Webb City, Missouri native served in World War II as part of the Doolittle Company. To Sergeant Emery Spicer, we thank you, today's Force-Aid hero. Some Filipino veterans who fought in World War II finally get recognized for their contributions. In Honolulu on Sunday, 11 veterans were awarded one of the nation's highest honors, the U.S. Congressional Gold Medal. But some say the award is more than 7 decades late. Annalisa Burgos has the reason why.
Sergeant First Class Felix de Vera Torno served in the Army of the United States, Philippine Scout.
The names of 11 Filipino World War II veterans, read and recognized as their families accepted the U.S. Congressional Gold Medal on their behalf. The award is one of America's highest honors, and it's for the sacrifice of more than 260,000 Filipino soldiers who fought for the United States from 1941 to 1946. None of the 11 lived long enough to see this day, a thank you from the government they served when the Philippines was a U.S. colony.
In memory of our dad, who was in the Bataan Death March, and he escaped.
Very little known what the Filipinos did in the war, and this is their recognition after all these years.
Our dad never talked about this, and the only way we found out was from my mom.
It's an honor that we had this bestowed upon him and the rest of the veterans also. It brings us closure as far as recognition to their legacy.
The Filipino Veterans Recognition and Education Project has organized nearly 100 ceremonies like these across the country since 2017, conferring about 3,000 medals so far. Fewer than 10,000 Filipino veterans from the greatest generation are still alive. Oscar Bangi is one of them.
Finally, we were recognized by the American government. All our companions are in the bed already, and I am only the one who is standing now.
Retired Major General Antonio Taguba lobbied for the medals. He estimates 10 to 15 Filipino vets die each day. Filipino advocates are still fighting for benefits they're entitled to, including citizenship and compensation, and to correct an injustice.
We want a national apology from the President of the United States. We want them to include the women on the roster, and we want them to appropriate funds to build a memorial and make this part of American history.
The project is also working with schools so educators can share the stories of the Filipino-American war heroes. Another half hour of news and weather just ahead. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, we have two special guests coming into studio to talk about a golf event that not only benefits the Special Olympics, but has a special guest as well. And an Illinois town celebrates its hometown team while premiering a new TV series about it. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back.
Starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:31. Let's take a look at today's top stories. The state of Oklahoma plans to execute an inmate on death row nearly every month until 2025. The Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals sets execution dates for 6 prisoners with plans to execute 25 in the next 29 months. The court is responding to a request by Oklahoma Attorney General John O'Connor. Capital punishment in Oklahoma had been on hold due to a moratorium prompted by botched lethal injections. Oklahoma currently has a backlog of 44 people on death row. Under the new push, the first scheduled execution is set for August 25th. The Caney, Kansas Police Department warns residents to be on alert after a string of vehicle break-ins. Officials say if your vehicle is parked outside, you should make sure it's locked and remove any valuables from it. They're also asking people with security cameras to review the footage from last night and contact them in the event that they see anything suspicious. It's been 30 years since A League of Their Own premiered. Saturday, Rockford, Illinois celebrated its hometown team from the past with a first look at the new series based on the hit movie. Anthony Ferretti reports.
I think this is an awesome thing for Rockford. Anybody who's missing it is missing out.
A League of Their Own, released in 1992, tells the story of the Rockford Peaches. 30 years since it graced the big screen, A League of Their Own series premieres on Prime Video next month, but not before Amazon brings an advanced screening of the series to the Peaches' backyard.
It's awesome. I think the Rockford Peaches, in the history of Rockford, is a great thing that we have. The Coronado Theater is another great thing we have, and the two of them combined together, I think it's a big winner.
Stars of the new Prime Video series feel privileged to shine light on women in baseball, 50 years since the establishment of Title IX.
It's so amazing just being in Rockford and seeing the real Rockfordians. Just to be here, I feel like we did a really great job. It brings me right back to filming, and everybody just did such a good job on the series, so I'm happy to bring it home.
Being at the home of the Peaches is just a privilege and an honor. Being here to celebrate the movie is just amazing. I mean, it was so important and transformative, and so many people hold it dear, including myself.
Despite the last Peaches game in 1954, the team's impact spans generations, old and new.
I think it's awesome. Awesome. Look at the hat.
Very cool. You know what? It's just neat to see people just coming downtown and thriving. This has been incredible. We love to see things like this, so.
Several stars of the movie and the series participated in a discussion after the screening. The series will premiere August 12th on Amazon Prime. The world's hot dog eating champion retains his title. Joey Chestnut took the top spot at this year's Nathan's Famous International Hot Dog Eating Contest on Monday. The competitive eater devoured 63 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes to win his 15th championship. Chestnut took on the challenge despite an injury on his right foot, but it did not apparently slow him down. In the women's competition, Mickey Sudo won her 8th title, cramming down 40 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes. Sudo takes back the championship after missing last year's competition while she was pregnant.
I still can't fathom how anybody can ingest that much in the span of 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
I like hot dogs, but not that much.
I think it's very little chewing going on and just straight swallowing.
Maybe that's the key to it, and maybe it's why that's no surprise. Chestnut took it again, at least in the men's competition, but holy cow.
No, thank you.
Yeah, let's move on because it's going to leave me speechless. And we got to update everybody on the weather setup here. Even though the upper level ridge is going to be our main driver in terms of the forecast today, there was a quick little upper level wave that managed to sneak underneath the ridge and at least give a couple scattered showers and storms, mainly west of 35 between Wichita and just north of Waukeeta and north central parts of Oklahoma. There were at times maybe a stray shower or storm clipping areas around Yates Center and up near Burlington, but this is our main weather headline for today, folks. We have heat advisories through northeast Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas, and then everybody else has excessive heat warnings. At the latest, they won't fall by the wayside until Friday at midnight going into Friday morning. So even though it looks nice, no doubt about it, from 7th the range line, we're already pushing close to 80, 79 at the airport, but it does feel like 82. Everyone's in the upper 70s as far as air temperatures go, but again, a lot of spots are already starting to push those feels like temperatures past 80 this afternoon. How about this morning? In terms of the afternoon, though, once we get past 81 at 8 a.m., 95 by noon. Joplin, you are set to top out at 100 this afternoon. And pretty much the same rule of thumb for the entire area. We're all in the lower to middle 90s to start the afternoon out, then pushing near 100 with generally quiet skies throughout the day. Now, in terms of heat indices, it's going to feel like 100 already once we get the afternoon started, but by the time we reach peak heating of the afternoon, the numbers could range between 102 and 108 before the day is all said and done. Then we'll trend even hotter. Wednesday, pushing 101 for the afternoon, 102 Thursday, 103 on Friday. Fortunately, we'll have another front come our way as we get the weekend started. Hopefully that can give us at least slight thunderstorm chances, and it'll do us best to at least nudge highs back down into the upper 90s. More of the KOM Morning News on Fox 14 coming up.
Welcome back to the KOM Morning News on Fox 14. In studio with us today we have Steve Anthony and Under Sheriff Ben Cole. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, coming up, we have Special Olympics event. Very important Special Olympics event. Do you want to start us off and give us a rundown as to what's going on?
Well, Ben and I started this 4 years ago. This will be actually 5 years ago, but we had to miss 1 year because of COVID. But we're looking forward to it. We're 25 days away and just looking forward to seeing everybody again.
So as for the event that's coming up, what are some of the activities that the participants will be able to do at the event?
Well, we have 60 teams filling the field, so we have a full group. Several of them. We have people come. We have a team coming from Memphis, Tennessee. We have a team coming from Texas, and several teams from Missouri and Kansas. A lot of them are repeat people that have played every year that supported us, and so we'll have two flights go off, one of a morning and one in later in the afternoon. So it'll be a fun-filled day. Hopefully the weather will cooperate with us and maybe not be so hot.
Yeah, that's something that we may still end up running into just with the 4 states and our heat. Tell me about how you guys met and came up with the Special Olympics in this area.
Well, with Ben being the undersheriff, LETR, Law Enforcement Torch Run, the guy that runs that here in Kansas, had asked us about doing a golf tournament, and we did a golf tournament, and to date, we've raised over $82,000 in 4 golf tournaments. So something to be pretty proud of.
So you talk about being proud. What are some other emotions that you may feel, with the work that you guys have been able to accomplish?
Well, we have several of our local athletes who have got to compete in the nationals and stuff like that. And we have a gentleman from McPherson, Kansas that's played in our tournament every year who is a Special Olympic athlete and just recently got back from Florida from playing in the nationals, who competed quite well. And so it was nice to see some of the money that we've raised that stays in this area possibly help those individuals make it to the next level. So that was huge for us, and our community buys into it, and I mean, everybody wants to help, and it's just a great day, and we get to see the smiling faces, and a few of the Special Olympic athletes come to the tournament and show off their medals and talk to the people and stuff like that. And so that's always kind of a good thing.
I've been fortunate enough to attend a couple Special Olympics events. A few months back, I actually covered one at the Pittsburgh YMCA over by the park, and I was able to see the camaraderie and just the fun and the joy, not only just from the participants but the volunteers as well, and just that atmosphere. It's something that it's really hard to compare or describe.
Right, and to see those athletes high five you and put the smiles on their face and gives them a purpose in life, and that's, we want them just to be part of us as well. So it's kind of heartbreaking. I mean, not heartbreaking, but just heart fulfilledness and stuff like that.
Tears of joy.
Yes, yes.
So I understand you guys have some pretty important people showing up to this event. How were you guys able to, get this to happen?
Well, I reached out to former Major Leaguer Otis Nixon about 9 or 10 months ago. Otis played 18 years in the major leagues. He made the catch against Andy Van Slyke in the playoffs back in the early 90s. Dan Ugula, 3-time All-Star, second baseman. Arthur Culbreth, he will be here as well. He won the gold medal in the handball competition in the Olympics. And then we have a couple of Harlem Globetrotters that'll be here as well. One of them is driving from Portland to be here for our event. Tyrone Hollywood Brown will be here, and then, like I said, the guy that's driving from Portland is Pee Wee Harrison, and he'll be here, and it's going to be such a great day.
So, like you said, it's going to be a great day. We have a very special event coming up. How can people get involved? Do you guys have some contact information, some links that they can go to as to getting involved with Special Olympics?
Yes, the day is open to the public. You don't have to be a participant. We'll have roughly anywhere from 50 to 100 items for raffle, and that's open to the public. We'll have, like I said, the Harlem Globetrotter guys will be there, and they'll probably put on some demonstrations, and that's open to the public as well. When Steve reached out to Otis Nixon, he's like, I want to come play. So that's basically Otis's team playing in the tournament that day. And so they're going to be there to sign autographs, high five, and stuff like that. So we just want to make sure that the public knows that they're able to come out, join in on the fun. I'm sure there'll be people that's got some cornhole boards and stuff like that. So we usually just block off the entire parking lot at the golf course, and then people just hang out in the parking lot. And a lot of the people that play of a morning will stick around of an afternoon, and then vice versa. The people that play in the afternoon usually come in early. And so it's just basically a big fun day where hopefully we raise a lot of money for Special Olympics.
Absolutely. And all of our items are open to anybody. We do have a golf cart that Ben and I buy every year to raffle off. We'd like for it to stay in Fort Scott one time. It hasn't yet. The furthest one went to Denver. So, different areas, but we look forward to it again.
Absolutely. It's going to be a special day. As they said, it's open to the public. Go out, participate, and let's have a lot of fun and help raise money for the Special Olympics.
That's not the correct date. It's July the 30th. July 30th, 2022.
Well, you heard them, July the 30th, 2022. We will see you guys out there. In Consumer Watch this morning, U.S. breakfast food giant Kellogg lost a legal battle in Britain. Kellogg tried to block new anti-obesity measures banning the promotion of sugary cereals. The rules are set to take effect in October. A high court judge rejected the company's argument that the regulations don't consider the nutritional value of milk added to the cereal. We'll be right back with more after this, but first, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Turns out goats can actually be great landscapers. Reporter Ashley Strohmeyer has a special look at how these gentle grazers are being put to work and what you can do to make sure your lawn survives the heat this summer.
Yard work can be a hassle, especially in sweltering heat. That's why one of New York City's popular parks is saying move over mowers and welcoming a crew of adorable goats as their new landscapers. The goats will call Riverside Park along the west side of Manhattan their new home for the remainder of the summer. The animals are an eco-friendly way of combating invasive plants while managing the grass on the park's steep hills.
They eat poison ivy, they eat the porcelain berry, they eat the multiflora rose, and that's what we're trying to get rid of.
And once the goats have worked their magic, native foliage will be planted. Meanwhile, if you don't have goats to do your lawn work, professionals say you'll need to pay close attention to how tall you cut your grass for the remainder of the summer, with soaring temperatures putting your yard at risk of dying.
We tend to recommend mowing between 2 and 4 inches. Higher is usually better. You also tend to have a deeper root system, which is going to allow that plant to exploit the soil environment a little bit better when it's looking for nutrients and water.
But with drought continuing to impact large swaths of the Midwest, Southeast, and Western U.S., many people are ripping up their water-guzzling lawns and transitioning to artificial turf.
Grass uses the equivalent of 73 gallons of water a year per square foot. That's enough water to put where we are completely underwater by 10 feet.
If your lawn does require watering, landscapers say the best time to turn on your sprinklers is between 4 and 7 a.m. so the water pressure is higher and can help disperse it equally. Ashley Strohmeyer, Fox News.
All right, we got one last quick look at the forecast here, at least for today. On a normal day where we start at 69, top out near 90, we're already pushing near 80 this morning. But we'll push 95 by noon, highs near 100 with heat indices ranging between 102 and 108. We'll give you one last look at the extended forecast when we come back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. A man is in custody after a mass shooting at a 4th of July parade in suburban Chicago. At least 6 people were killed and a dozen hurt when a gunman opened fire from a rooftop onto the crowd below in downtown Highland Park, Illinois. A person of interest, Robert Cremo. The third was arrested after a brief car chase. Many 4th of July events in Chicago were canceled. President Biden welcomed military families to the White House for a 4th of July barbecue. There were also fireworks to cap off the festivities in Washington. Earlier, the National Independence Day Parade returned to the nation's capital after a 2-year absence. And a curfew was in effect overnight in Akron, Ohio, after police released videos showing the offer-involved shooting in an unarmed black man. The deadly shooting of 25-year-old Jalen Walker ignited protests Sunday night. A medical examiner says he had 60 bullet wounds in his body.
And one last look at our 7-day forecast. The alert days continue today, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday because of temperatures either near 100 or going into the lower triple digits. And each day the humidity will make it feel like it's between 102 at the low end and maybe pushing up to 110, certainly by Thursday and Friday. Maybe a little bit of relief from the heat, albeit little, by Saturday and Sunday. Jalen with the front coming in. Hopefully that can give us at least a few thunderstorm chances on Friday and Saturday as well.
Well, thank you, Nick. A major water lily in the Royal Botanic Gardens in London is discovered to be a part of a completely different species. The Victoria boliviana is the biggest known water lily species in the world. Its leaves can grow to close to 10 feet wide and support nearly 180 pounds, according to the senior author of a study published in the journal Frontiers in Plant Science. Have this new data on the Victoria, and finding out the new species is important to protecting it. For those who want to get an up-close look, the giant water lily is in the Water Lily House and the Princess of Wales Conservatory at Kew Gardens.
That's pretty nifty.
Yeah, that's awesome. 180 pounds.
That's a big water lily.
Yeah, so it's able to carry, more than the average person.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
All right, well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back on the KOAM side with more news and weather coming up at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.